We're back with another Keto Mojo test, and today we are testing Keto ChocXO. They're labeled as certified keto, and they are dark chocolate snaps with coconut, almonds, and sea salt. So this request comes from Jamie, and if you have any requests for keto foods that you would like me to test, make sure you comment below with those requests. My only stipulations are that they are either labeled keto or that they do not have any wheat in them, or anything that's an obvious, high glycemic food. So anything you think is keto you would like me to test, make sure to comment below and I'll do that. So these you can find at ChocXO, you can find at Amazon, and real quick, so they have the ingredients. There is organic chocolate. Now, the chocolate that they use is made with organic cane sugar. So if you are a keto purist, if you completely abstain from all actual sugar, then you probably don't want to eat these, because the sugar that is in the chocolate does add, there are 3 grams of added sugar in here that is not a sugar alcohol, it is not erythritol, it is straight up cane sugar. But the total sugars is 4 with 3 of them being added. And then it has organic coconut, almonds, and sea salt. Now the interesting thing about this package, and I'll see if you can see it, maybe not. Right here, it actually lists that the product contains soy, coconut, and almonds. Now soy is not actually in the ingredient list, so I'm not sure why they go back and say that it contains soy. Perhaps it's produced in a warehouse or a manufacturer that also does soy, I'm not sure. So anyway, so again, we are testing these Keto ChocXO snaps, and they have several flavors on Amazon. So they come in these cute little packages, and 2 are serving, okay? So real quick, I guess start with my morning numbers before we eat this. So my morning glucose was at 91 this morning, and my ketones are running a little bit low at 0.6. So we'll come back in about 30 minutes after I eat these, and I will tell you what I think of these, and also we will test my numbers at the 30-minute mark, 60 minutes, 90 minutes, and 2 hours. That gives my blood sugar a chance to go up and go down if it's going to. Obviously, in the last video where I tested the Quest bars, it surprisingly stayed steady. So I'm really curious to see how these do. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, it's been 30 minutes and I've just retested, but before I give you the results, first of all, I want to tell you the taste of the Keto ChocXO is amazing. They are really tasty. Now, one thing I've noticed and I wasn't expecting is I felt a little jittery about 20 minutes after eating these, and so I wouldn't think the caffeine content would be huge. I mean, I have chocolate milk almost every morning, and I'll explain on a future video why I do that. It's keto, homemade chocolate milk. But so I don't think it's the chocolate, and so the only thing I can think of is the sugar. And of course, I haven't had anything else to eat this morning. I haven't eaten since last night. So I don't know if the sugar is hitting me that hard. I mean, it's only 3 grams of added sugar, but it is cane sugar, which I don't typically have. So that's kind of strange. But to get to the test results, again, kind of comparing this to a Quest bar that truly uses sugar alcohol for sweetener and doesn't have any actual sugar. This one for the glucose test, it did go up to 100 from 91. And if you remember on the Quest bar test, it didn't change at all. I think there was like a 1-point difference. So I found that interesting. But then the really weird thing is my ketones are up from 0.6 to 0.9. Now, a lot of things can explain that. Your ketones are going to fluctuate throughout the day, and they're going to fluctuate based off when your liver is producing the ketones, because they're going to be produced on demand depending on what body functions are in need of ketones. And so it could be that in the last 30 minutes, my liver just pumped out a bunch of ketones and it's flooding my blood on its way to do its work, and I just haven't burned them off yet. It's kind of weird, because I don't think I have done a test yet where my ketones jumped up that much in the first 30 minutes. So again, that could just be a weird morning thing. I don't know, because they did start out lower than normal, but I also started testing sooner after I woke up than I normally do. Usually I would wait a full hour before I run my first test, and but I actually slept a little bit late this morning, and so the first test ran like 20 minutes after I woke up. So that might just be indicative of this now being an hour after I have woken up. So anyway, I'm curious to see if the glucose goes any higher or or if it just kind of levels off at 100, you know, ideally, you know, again, in comparison to the Quest bar, it went up significantly more. But if you compare it to a banana, which I tested when I was testing my Baby Yoda cookies, a banana shot my blood glucose up 50 points. So 9 points versus 50 points, still way better than if I were to eat something that was truly not keto. But it did go up higher than expected. And again, I've got that Jerry feeling, which I do find interesting, but they did taste really good. So we're gonna come back in another 30 minutes, which will be the hour mark, to see what happens then. So along with finding out the test, you also get to see me get ready this morning. I've just got out of the shower, my hair is still wet, but the timer went off for 30 minutes, and so it was time for another test. And this one, another interesting test, and I'm still feeling a little jittery. I don't really like that feeling. So I'll give my final thoughts on this product at the end of the video. But first, the glucose test came back this time at 105. It is still going up. So it's gone up, what, 14 points, which again, compared to just I think the most the Quest bar went up was maybe 4 or 5 points. So again, significantly more. And then my ketones, which I guess they're kind of all over the place this morning. It's back down to 0.5. So anyway, so we are at the 1 hour mark. I still have 2 more tests to go for the hour and a half and 2 hours. You'll also see me in full makeup by the end of this video. So stay tuned and I will be back in just a moment. Okay. It only took an hour and a half, but I'm finally camera ready. So the test for this hour and a half mark is really moving in the direction I kind of more expected it to. The glucose readings are going back down now at 101. And again, that's kind of the trend you expect to see. You almost see it kind of peak at the 1 hour mark, and it should really come and completely level out at 2 hours. And then for the ketones, they're just kind of, you know, they're bouncing around right now. They're back up to 0.7. So, you know, I'm happy with my ketone levels this morning. One thing about ketones, some people naturally run high on ketones. They have no problem hitting 1.5 or even 2, which is really high. And other people really struggle to even break away to get much higher than 0.5. And that doesn't mean you're doing keto wrong. That's just kind of how your body works. One thing I told one lady is that kind of my theory is that if you have trouble getting your ketones really high, then your body is probably just more efficient at producing them when it's needed and burning what's needed. And so you just don't have a lot of excess ketones in your blood to show up on the test. But again, it does not mean you're doing keto wrong. If your carbs are low enough, you're fine. If you're eliminating your grains and your carbs are low, you're doing keto the right way. All right, guys, we have one more test to run. That's at the 2 hour mark, and we will see how that goes. But right now, the numbers are going back in the direction they should. And so I expect it to be down, hopefully back below 100 for the 2 hour mark. But who knows? It might surprise us. I'll be right back. Hey, guys. We're back for the final test, and I thought it'd be fun to actually do the test live with the video. So I've got my lancet loaded into here, and these are the 2 strips we have. We have the ketone strip and the glucose strip. So I'm going to test the ketones first. Sometimes I don't think it really matters. The ketone test takes a little bit longer than the glucose test, like 10 seconds versus I think 5 seconds. So you're going to take this, and you're just going to, the best place to prick your finger is on the edge there. It hurts a little bit more there, but you're also going to get a better bead of blood on that section. And actually, I'm going down to this finger this time because these 2 already had 2 pokes this morning. So I'm going to take it, and there's a thing right here, and I'm going to push down and pop it. And so, like I said, that's going to have the bead of blood that goes up. The test strip will go in the very top of the Keto Mojo, and I will wait for it to come on, and you will see it. See if I can get a good picture of it. There it is. So now it's ready. Get a little more blood out of there. And let's see. All right. So it's on the countdown. Got 5 more seconds. Let's see if we can. Where's that? There it is. I can't keep it up there. All right. 0.6 is where we're ending this test with. And now I'm going to pop in the glucose test, and I can use the same finger prick. I don't need to prick it again. So I'll just keep squeezing my finger, get a little more blood out of there. And same thing, this one, when it's ready, it'll have like a little, it's not going to show it to you. It's going to have like a little blood drop, picture of a drop of blood when it's ready. And this one, it only takes 5 seconds. So here we are. We are at 90. It's back down to 90. So that is good news. I think we started the test off at 91. So what does it tell me about the product? So these, first of all, super duper tasty. The upside is that while it did raise the glucose levels higher than a Quest bar, it was still much lower than a banana. So I think, that probably puts it a middle of the road. I don't know that I would keep them in the house full time because it did impact the blood sugar higher than I like to see. Really you don't want to go in more than 30. It stayed under that. But the fact that it does have real sugar in it as well, I would not necessarily, I have to question the keto label. The problem with keto labeled foods are there is no regulation. There are no rules set in place to define what marketers or what food makers can put as keto on their labels. Now, of course, they're going to keep it close to the keto standards, otherwise they would never sell it. But I do encourage you on all keto products, anything that is labeled as keto or anything that the community says, yeah, this is keto friendly, check the ingredients. The first thing you want to check for is added sugar. Ideally, you want it sweetened with stevia or erythritol. Those two are the two sugar alcohol and the plant-based sugar substitute that doesn't impact your glucose. And the other thing you want to make sure is that it does not include any grains, specifically wheat, but ideally on a keto diet, a well-balanced keto diet, you don't want any kind of grains whatsoever. You don't want cornstarch, potato starch, and that kind of stuff. And then if you deal with estrogen dominance, you also want to stay away from soy. Now, like I mentioned at the very beginning of the video, the ingredients don't mention soy, but then the label goes on to say it may contain soy. They may just put that on all their products just to protect themselves legally because there are people that have legitimate soy allergies. And so they just may be using that as a disclaimer, just like I said, to protect themselves. I don't know. But final thoughts, I don't think I would keep these as a staple in the house. If I was going to bring something into the house, I would probably opt for the Quest bar, which had a lower impact on my numbers. The occasional travel snack, the occasional splurge, it's going to be okay. Obviously, if you're diabetic and you are more heavily impacted by your sugar levels, you may want to think twice before purchasing this product. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. Make sure you check out other videos. Depending on what platform you're on, like this video, follow my page, subscribe, and I have some more videos coming up. In fact, let me give you a little teaser on the next video. So you're going to have to come with me. Oops, got my lavaliers joining me. So I don't know if you ever have to quick soften butter or cream cheese. I highly recommend the method of just putting it into the sunlight. So that's your hint. That's your hint for my next video that's coming up. My husband's super excited, and my son is too, because as the official taste testers of all my keto food, they always get a lot of yummy and fun food to eat. All right, guys, that's all I have for you right now. I will see you on the next video.